Ben Lerner is an incredibly talented filmmaker and editor, and when he put out his latest 2023 video, I had to have him on the show to nerd out about the editing that he did in it. I myself was most curious in the opening couple of shots, so that is where we started. I've kind of got some ideas on how I might tackle that, but honestly I was a little stumped. I was like, this is super sick, and I need to know how you did that.
So I'll kind of walk through step by step. So this first bit with the 2023 title, this is relatively simple, just like a template I think I found on Motion Array or something like that. And then I assume the part you're more interested in is this bit. I was kind of stumped on how to do this at first as well, because it's really difficult to, I wanted to scroll through like a bunch of videos to represent 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days, which is a lot of video clips, a lot of layers. So as much as possible, I try to do that stuff outside of Resolve. The 12 months, that was few enough where I was able to do that with video clips inside Resolve, stack them in a compound clip, and it was actually like a few different compound clips, and then keyframe some position on them to have them scroll.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like separated into four groups of 3 videos, and I like kind of matched up the scrolling speed for each of them, just because it feels like there has to be a better way almost of like expanding your timeline, so that way like things outside of the frame are still like rendered. I don't know how to even explain what I'm trying to say, but like,
so in Fusion you can do that. You can have 3D space in Fusion and do all this, but I was like sitting here watching this just going like, did he really do a Fusion composition with this many like video clips? Like my brain was just like, his machine has to be on fire. But then Ben really blew my mind when he told me how he tackled the 365 scrolling days clip. So simple yet so genius.
And then for the 52 weeks one, and then the 365 days, these are just photos that are compiled in Photoshop, made like one massive Photoshop image with all of this stuff. You can see even like a lot of the photos repeat because I was just too lazy to find like this many unique photos.
Oh, but that's smart, because what is it, rule of 7, that after 7 or something we can't really discern repetition?
Yeah, I mean it's 15,000 pixels tall. It's 24 megabytes, but it works, and then I just scroll through that and Resolve.
I love so much, and this is just a testament to like that editing is problem solving and like scrappy, and that's why I love this show, because you like totally blew my mind with all of these workaround techniques that totally do the exact same effect and are like 10 times better. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you told me about the option to do it in Fusion. I'll have to figure out how to do that as well. Because I mean, I'm sure that's the way you're really sort of meant to do stuff like this. But it's cool because sometimes like a limitation of a program or just a limitation of my knowledge of it can sort of encourage me to find a workaround that turns into some whole other effect or something interesting.
And see guys, this is why I love this show, creativity from constraint. When we get forced into a corner or we don't know how to do something, we come up with clever solutions to problems that we have to tell the stories we want to tell as editors. I love that. I love that so much.
But that's also an option, just like making a super high resolution video, exporting that, and then like scrolling through that in a normal resolution timeline.
Again, like for this problem, I'm just like 2 thumbs up for everything I'm seeing here, because it's like so perfect. Okay.
As much as I can do stuff in the edit page, I'll just try to do that.
Next, I of course had to ask the maybe dumb question, but you know, how would you store this much footage? When you're doing an edit with a year's worth of Blackmagic Pocket 6K footage, I thought it was worth asking. So my next question related to this part that we just talked about was funny, because I had written nerdy questions from me to you, and I wanted to ask about that shot. But then my next question was, how did you store all of the footage for 2023? Do you have like a storage solution, or is it scrappy as well?
It's relatively scrappy. I was just watching a video today from someone who bought a NAS system, and I should probably be really using something like that, because right now, plugged into my computer in order to make sure that all of this media is here, I have 2 1 terabyte SSDs, which have like recent footage that I've shot, as well as a 20 terabyte like just slow external hard drive.
Now, my next set of questions were related to the flow and the music of the piece. When I watched it, I was immediately lost in the rhythm and flow of it. So much so that Ben actually made me feel silly when he answered my question about this. I'm trying to remember. The flow was so good that to me, it only felt like there was one song that you used for this, but was there more than one?
There was 3 songs for this one. Yeah. That happens to me all the time. I'll watch an edit and I'll be like, oh yeah, there was one song. Like I won't think about the fact that the song's changed. And then like someone will break down the edit and there's like 5 different songs. I was like, how is that possible? So I take that as a compliment. But
that is a compliment, because the best editing is the editing you don't notice. So the fact that I was like, it was all one song, it's like, no, there was 3.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that.
Ben also had a fantastic little line about how he views sound design. And I think everyone who's interested in editing should write this down and soak it in. I just thought it was a great line.
Just the idea of thinking of it as a totally separate entity, and how can I tell a story with the visuals and then with the sound that might be like 2 different stories too.
All right, Ben. Well, hey, I think we're going to wrap it up there for today. Again, thank you so much for coming on the show and talking editing with me. I have loved doing this. Always at the end of these episodes, I want to make sure to give people a chance to tell us where all of the viewers can find them on the internet. So go ahead and do that first and foremost, because we just need more Ben Lerner fans in the world, in my opinion.
YouTube is just Ben Lerner. Not the most active on there, but we'll get back to it eventually. Instagram at I am Ben Lerner, and podcast channel, which is where I'm maybe most active over the next couple months, is Story Seeker Podcast. So thank you. It's been great.